For all the knowledge of the thousands of scientists and engineers in the space industry, sometimes the old adage of the best laid plans of mice and men can be equally applied to their efforts. This was certainly the case of the Mars Climate Orbiter mission of 1999, and this will go down in space history as one of the biggest facepalms to date.
The space agency says tonight that a multi-million-dollar spacecraft sent to explore the atmosphere of the planet Mars has been destroyed. It's a setback to years of work already done. In the vastness of space, all it takes is one navigation error. In this case, NASA was off by 60 miles.
The Mars Climate Orbiter launched on December 11, 1998 on a mission to orbit Mars. This first interplanetary weather satellite was designed to gather data on Mars's climate and also serve as a relay station for the Mars Polar Lander, a mission that launched a few weeks later. But you can't just launch a spacecraft towards Mars and trust that it's going to get where it's going. You have to monitor its progress. That processed data was what scientists used to adjust the trajectory, adjustments that were made by firing the spacecraft's thrusters. Every time the thrusters were fired, the resulting change in velocity was measured twice, once by a software program on the spacecraft and once by a software program on the ground. And here's where the problem comes in. It turned out that the two systems, the processing software on the spacecraft and the software on the ground, were using two different units of measurements. The software on the spacecraft measured impulse, or the changes by thrusters, in newton seconds, a commonly accepted metric unit of measurement, while the processing software on the ground used the imperial pound seconds. And because 1 pound of force is equal to 4.45 newtons, every adjustment was off by a factor of 4.45. For a spacecraft traveling tens of millions of miles to a destination, a number of seemingly small errors really add up. During the Mars Climate Orbiter's 9-month cruise to Mars, 7 errors were introduced into its trajectory that meant that when it reached the red planet, it was 105 miles closer to the Martian surface than expected. This turned out to be an unsurvivably low altitude for its Mars encounter. When the spacecraft fired its main engine for the orbit insertion burn that was designed to put it into an elliptical orbit, nothing happened. NASA lost contact quite abruptly with the spacecraft. So while we know the root cause of just what went wrong, we'll never know exactly what happened to the Mars Climate Orbiter.